Hey, this is Alex with Adventure Outfitters, and right now we're going to be talking about the different types of fins you can use while you're scuba diving. So, as you see, there's a lot of different designs, and there's even more. But basically, all the fins come down to three different styles, okay? So, you've got your blade fin, you've got your tech-style blade fin, and you have your split fin. So what are the differences? So let's start with the classic blade fin. So a lot of different designs. Basically, big extension for your foot. Give yourself some duck feet. The blade fin, and they vary in composition, but they're gonna be one of the more versatile styles of fins. So for flutter kicking, long, slow strokes from the hips with your knees straight are a really good way to get some speed. You can also frog kick. You can also backwards kick, and if you're good with your frog kick, you can even go up and down with that. So these generally will give you a decent amount of power and speed and control. On the split fin, a little bit different. Instead of more of a truck engine, you get more of a race car. So these are easier kicking due to the split design, so they're a little bit easier on the knees if somebody has trouble with that or just wants an easier kicking fin. They will give you a lot of speed and efficiency, but what they gain in that, you lose a little bit in control, which might not even be that important. So basically the way the split fin works is it's better with shorter, faster fin cycles. So instead of the long, slow blade kicks, a little bit shorter, faster fin cycles. And what that does is when these move at the right way, it creates a vortex behind the fin and propels you even faster. So once you get that little frequency down, you can move really fast and you'll be smoking people with blade fins with less effort. Also, if you can flick your ankles at just the right speed without even moving your legs, you can move along pretty fast too. I used to do that teaching open water. I just kind of flick my ankles and catch up with all my students as they're swimming along. So speed, efficiency, but not the best for like real technical frog kicking. And where did that really come into play? Like wreck penetration, cave diving, swimming over a small flat area with lots of silt, trying not to stir it up. You can do a lot with these two, but in a cave diving wreck environment, probably not the best choice for that. But anything else, fast and efficient, really nice fin. And now we're going to move from the blade fin to the kind of technical style blade fins, and there's definitely a little bit of spillover and change between models and brands, but typically you're going to get like the classic old school fin look, and they've come a long way too. There's different designs. The old style ones of these, like maybe in the 80s and before, were made out of neoprene rubber, which is really heavy, and they're basically a truck engine. So you get a lot of power out of them, and you can have a lot of control. But due to the really heavy nature of them, they can be very stiff and hard on the legs, and also could really mess up your buoyancy. Because most people, you know, if we're going to be a little feet heavy if this is your head. And so if you have heavy fins, it's just going to exacerbate that, and you'll be constantly trying to correct as you're swimming. We want to swim flat so we can just cut through the water with minimal effort. So if you can stay flat and stable, you're going to have a much more efficient kick, which is going to be less work for you and less gas you're going to use. So more bottom time, more diving, more fish, more fun. There are some different versions of these, and they vary quite a bit. Some you can adjust the weight in, some of the newer models, but really you don't need to really quite do that. Just pick a fin that works with your type of diving and your type of setup. So with different models, like the RK3s for example, there's two different densities. There's a high density and a low density. It also depends if you're diving salt or fresh, but really, like for most people with a regular tank setup, a lightweight blade fin, technical style blade fin will work really well too. You know, you're very efficient with them. If you do a nice efficient frog kick, you can still flutter kick with them. There are a couple different variations. You can see these look a lot different, and they look kind of similar to these. Some fins have vents on them, which will make it a little easier to kick, but you won't get quite all the power out of it. Where a straight blade with no vents, you'll be able to get more push for every kick. It's going to be harder, but if you were in a race, a longer straight blade is going to be faster than a shorter vented blade. Some people like the shorter fins for real tight environments. The Dive Right fins, for example, are used in a variety of environments, and they're just fine too. Every fin's a little bit different, so some are better at backwards kicking than others, if that's even a concern for you guys. But all of these fins will be just fine for that. So again, we've got regular blade fin, which is just kind of a good all-around fin. We've got the split fins, which are kind of like a race car engine, so we go fast and efficiently. And then we've got the textile fins, more of a truck engine, but like I said, there's a lot of shifts from different models. You know, it just depends on the exact one. But really, just because it's a textile fin doesn't mean it's just for tech divers. Just make sure it's the right weight and it works for your diving, and we're going to help you out with that. A couple other things that are common to all the fins is how it connects to your feet. So these are open heel fins, so you put your foot in, you put the strap around the back, and there's a couple different styles. So you've got classic rubber fins straps, which you pull nice and snug, not too tight, on your foot. It's time to take it off. A lot of ours will have a quick release, so it's easy to take off. And then if you wanted to get it, you got it just right, you can clip it back on, easy. Or, you know, for best results to get it just right, maybe loosen it up just a little bit, put the buckle on, and then go ahead and tighten it when you get it back on your feet. They've made it easier. There's a couple different styles. So some of the more recreational fins will have various types of silicone bands here, which stretch, and you can put it on. You can make adjustments on these, but there's no removing and replacing buckles. There's no tightening of straps. You kind of set it and forget it. And the silicone works well, but silicone, you know, can be more tear prone if you get it cut in the right way. So a lot of times there'll be kind of a fancy honeycomb or something like that to give it extra strength, which that's not a bad option either. Best option is going to be spring straps. Some fins come with them. The textile ones generally do, so that's one of the reasons I like them. But you got a stainless steel spring, which for some reason I've never seen them rust. They're really good metal. You just put your foot in, put the strap on the back, and good to go. Some you can adjust a little bit, some you can't, but the size of the spring is usually based on the size of the fin, and it usually works out really well.